So here's a quick overview for you of the settings that you might have in FreeAgent. So when you first set up your account, you need to connect your bank account, which you can follow the on-screen instructions for. That will pull in all the transactions from your Metal bank account. If you then go and have a look in the settings and look in the company details, this is where you need to set up everything ready for your company. So you can say whether you're a limited company or a sole trader, pop in the name of your business. If you're a limited company, put the company registration number in. These PAYE and accounts office reference, that's only relevant if you're doing payroll. And the same with your corporation tax reference, any other contact details. And then you can choose a business category. So the business category is there if you want to do benchmarking. Benchmarking means that you can share anonymized information about your business with FreeAgent and see what other similar businesses are doing and how you compare. But you don't have to do that. So you can then save that, or you can go to here. So we've done company details. Company logo is where you can upload your logo to pop that on your invoices. Users, you can decide who's actually going to go and use your FreeAgent account. If you're inviting your accountant in, this isn't where you invite them in. These are just people within your company. Export your data is useful if you decide you don't want to use FreeAgent anymore, or if you want to have a backup of it, you can export it all as an Excel file. Delete the account, gets rid of it and reset. And support access if you need FreeAgent to get hold of you to have a look and help you. When it comes to sending emails, you need an email address that you're going to send things from. And then you can start having a look at your email templates. So these are the emails that are going to go out. So when you send a new invoice out, this is what it's going to say. So, hi, first name, please find attach your latest invoice. Many thanks. And you can go in here and fill in whatever information you want to. The same for your reminders. So you can set up a reminder a day before the invoice is due, 4 days afterwards. You can add additional invoice reminders in there as well as to when they're going to go out. And what it's going to say, you can do a thank you. So when they've paid the invoice, and that's for doing a new estimate. Price list and stock, that's if you're actually selling goods or services, you can do either. So price list is where you've got services and stock is where you've got goods. And so if you've got goods, you can see here that's telling you the amount you've got in stock at the moment and the opening balance. And then as you buy and sell those items on your invoices, that will keep track of that stock for you. A price list is for things like services. So if you do a price list item, let's say we're going to do an invoice for a power hour. So you can say 1 hour of support. You can put your price in there. Say what income category it's going to. So we're going to put that to sales. If you're not VAT registered, make sure that's set in your settings, then it doesn't matter what goes in there. But if not, you will need to create that. And then you create your item. And that's now put that sales item in there. So that'll make it much quicker and easier when you want to raise an invoice, particularly if you're doing it from your mobile. So that's your price list. And then theme settings is what you want your documents to look like. So you can choose any of these that you want to, or you can have a go at creating your own. And if you create your own, this is where you're going to need to sort of choose things and decide how you're going to want it to look. I would recommend, though, always going for one of the existing theme settings. There's plenty there to choose from. And if we go into that, it'll tell you whether you can do it on letterheaded paper or suitable for a printed envelope. So they're pretty good, and you can preview them to see what they look like as well. So pick your invoice theme. If you do the custom one, that's quite good because you can edit there. You can choose what type of dividers you've got. So you can see there we've changed the dividers. You can choose how dense you want the invoice to be. You can upload your company logo. You can pick a colour. So if it were me, I'd have a nice blue. and pick whatever your hex code is for your business. And you can choose from a range of fonts as well. So you really can customize the invoice quite considerably. And as you change it, it will change over here for you as well. And then once you're happy, save and finish. And that's then your custom invoice. And if that's the one you want to use, you just click make default, and that's the one that will get used. So those are the sort of basic settings to do with stuff that's going out. These are your important ones in the accounting, tax, and VAT. So your accounting dates, this is where you need to think about the company start date and the company trading date. So if you're a limited company, that's going to be set as it is in Companies House. So you'll need to make sure those dates are correct. If you're a sole trader, then you can either have the 31st of March or the 6th of April. I tend, if I'm putting people onto software, to use the 31st of March, because then the months that you've got in the software when you're looking at reports will tie in with those months. You do need to be careful if you're changing your accounting date, though, from the 5th of April to the 31st of March, that you don't double count or miss out those 5 days. So your accounting periods, this is a limited company, so we've got a 12-month period on there. But I say, just make sure you've got these dates right. That's the first year that you started operating the company. And then here, this is when you want to start keeping things in FreeAgent. So do check that you've got those right. You can then pop in your initial tax data. So this one is looking at a limited company. So it's looking at the corporation tax, losses brought forward in asset pool. I would suggest, though, if you're a sole trader, if you're a limited company, you probably have an accountant to do that for you. If you're a sole trader, that's where you're going to put any self-assessment information in. If you're VAT registered, that's where you're going to put that information in. And you're going to say what basis of VAT on if you're on the flat rate scheme. So really, you just need to work through these settings and pop them in. Now, when you get to accounting categories, this is where you don't want to be messing around too much. Anything with a little person, that's where you've added a custom category in. But you've got your sales, your admin expenses, cost of sales, capital assets. These are things that go on your balance sheet. These are items that are expensive and last more than 1 year. Assets and liabilities and equity. So these are all to do with your balance sheet. I would say when you're setting up, you don't want to play around with these balance sheet accounts. These are set down really in accounting rules as to where those need to be. Cost of sales, admin expenses and income. You can add extra ones in here if you need them. Don't go mad and add in too many, because it just isn't going to tell you anything. You want enough to give you something meaningful. So things that you want to track. So think about whether you want admin expenses. These are your overheads. So these are the things that you're going to incur even if you don't make any sales. Cost of sales. These are the costs that you're only going to incur if you've made a sale. So income less cost of sales will give you your gross profit, less your admin expenses gives you your net profit. So that's where it's important to get things in the right place there. And this tax reporting type, this will tell you where it's going to go on your self-assessment tax return. So again, if you're not sure about any of those, do get advice from a qualified professional and they'll be able to let you know. Please post in the Facebook group if you're not sure, and I can help you as well. So that's your accounting categories. Payroll is if you're running your payroll. So that's where you can set that up. I would suggest if you're running payroll, unless it's a very basic, simple payroll, get some advice on that one. Account locking is really important. So account lock is once you've filed your tax return, you want to put a lock on there, and that makes sure then that historic data that you've already reported can't be changed. So always make a point once you've finished your accounts and filed your tax return to pop that account lock on. Construction industry scheme, if you're working in CIS, that's where you will turn that on. If you're not working in CIS, you don't need to worry. That's purely for CIS contractors. And that will just check the verifications and what you need to do in there. Tax timeline. This is going to show what it's going to show you on your dashboard, and what you want it to show in there. So whether you wanted to show tax amounts with tax amounts, without tax amounts, if you want to hide it. I would imagine most of you will want to see it. Do bear in mind, though, that tax could be wrong if your data in there isn't correct. And then you've just got these security sessions here just so that you can have a look and see where you've been logged in or if anyone's tried to log in. So most of those settings you won't need to change once you've set them. But if you just work through those in order, that will get you set up correctly. Important thing is to make sure the accounting date is correct and think about what accounting categories you want, making sure that they're sensible for your business. So if you're not sure of any of the accounting categories, do let me know. I can help you out. So I hope you found that useful. I will do some further videos later on as to what bills and expenses mean and how to start getting your data into FreeAgent. So let me know what video you'd like to see next. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Hope this has helped.